Hello everyone. Yeah, I just thought to do a video today. Obviously I'm now going back to work. And also I didn't quite post any videos last week. Unfortunately, I had a bit of bad news. One of our cats had to be put down last week. She's been part of the family for probably about 7 years. She was actually 21 years old. She got sort of passed down to us. Of course, I'd got put from pillar to post, and it weren't like that no one wanted her. It was just the fact that her original owner died of like terminal illness, like cancer or something like that, and we happened to first move out of our parents' home about 7 years ago, and she was our first pet together, mine and my wife. So the cat was passed down to my wife's mum. Unfortunately, her cat didn't get on with her, so she got passed on to us. So yeah, unfortunately, that was a bit tragic. Obviously, we were both quite sad about that. We still are, obviously. And like part of the recovery journey. I mean, like I said, like healing's not linear. Your life ain't just going to be like all sunshine and rainbows all the time because you're trying to heal. There's going to be life happens how it happens. And how it pan out how it does for all of us. And the whole part of recovery is actually, for me now, is trying to deal with things and accept certain things what happen, rather than use unhealthy ways to cope with things, like when you're going through bad emotions or experiences in life, to try and actually just try and get through things in a healthier way. So that's part of my recovery as well. So yeah, there'll be some more fitness stuff coming up. I'll have an assessment next Saturday, not this Saturday, the following one. That'll be my practical assessment, so I'm getting prepared for that. I'll be running through sort of like the procedures, what I'll have to be doing, like looking out for what they actually expect of me, what they want me to do, and then I'll be going from there. My wife's going to be the person on the assessment with me, and I'm looking to get that recorded on a Saturday morning, get it done, sent to my tutor, and hopefully that will be a pass. I'm sure it will. Got to try and be a bit confident, obviously. I'm sure it will pass. I'm hoping to. So, and then that'll be level 3 stuff next. And there'll be more content I'll bring out, like for people who want to learn about PT sort of stuff, and what they'll expect to find in the next part, like part 3. Level 3 on the course, which I'll be doing. Obviously, once this is all finished, I'll be cracking on with that. I could have just started like level 3 now, really, to be honest, while I was waiting to do the practical, but I just thought take each step at a time, just get that out of the way first before I do that. So that's what I'll do. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment, and this video today is just going to be about sort of the mental health side of things, the mindset and mental health stuff. That's what my vlog videos are about. It ain't just about like my experience becoming a PT and my experiences with PT Academy and how I found them. This is just like I say, these vlogs are just to just help certain people who are interested in like trying to develop themselves, grow, progress in life, in no matter what aspect of your life. If you're trying to just improve as a person, or just you're trying to navigate your way through life, try to find your path, a new career, or anything like that, or and just general chit chat sometimes, so I'll have like a few videos sometimes going to work and just having a general chat on here, and like just putting things in perspective and that. But this one's about, what I was going to do is try and sort of give some sort of value on the videos now, like to people, not just like me rambling on endlessly all the time, put videos on here, just jargon all the time. It's going to be about, you know, what can I do to help some of you who are struggling, you know, with like mental health stuff such as like anxiety, which I've suffered with. I mean, I still do. We all suffer with anxiety to a degree. That's a natural part of like our way we're programmed, but unfortunately for some of us, we can get so sensitized we end up being more anxious about small stuff, which other people who don't necessarily suffer the same, they could be more prone to feeling the symptoms more. So I'll just sort of go into like what I've done so far. So I've been sort of on a support group for Simply Anxious, and then like what I've been doing with that is using that support group. The person in charge of the group, she swears by like Claire Weeks' approach. So that was an old doctor based in Australia many decades ago now, since the 60s I think, or something like that, and it's now starting to come to light now, especially in today's day and age, that a lot of people are now starting to discover this book now, which is really strange because it was never given the credit it should have deserved many years ago. But people are now all starting to suddenly come across this book only just recently, in recent years, and the reason for that is because that is really the only way you're going to sort of solve any kind of, you know, like anxiety problems in your mindset. So if you got a fear of flying, or you've got a fear of driving, or if you've got a fear of going to the supermarket, anything like that, that causes you immense anxiety, that's because your nervous system is so sensitized. So if you're really severely sensitized, it can prevent you doing like everyday activities which you take for granted. And on our group we've got like one or two who's got a fear of driving too far and things like that, or driving on motorways and things like that. We've got some who fear flying, we've got some who are agoraphobic. Agoraphobia is just like where you're too frightened to come out your own home to even face anything, you know, you'll stay indoors all the time, you're frightened of everything. And at that stage I really do feel sorry for some people who get in that stage. We've got one or two in the group like that, and we've had others in the past before I've joined who got like that, and I feel so blessed that really I never got like that. Well, I don't know how, like I just haven't. I managed not to get like that. I wish not to, and I don't wish it on anyone, because that's very isolating, because anxiety can naturally shrink your world and prevent you doing things with your life. You know, your life will just be on hold. So this is another reason I'm doing these anxiety recovery video things as well, because I want to just try and help some people and maybe educate them. Hope it can help some people, you know, just help them through the difficult times with this anxiety disorder or whatever. So me personally, I suffer with generalised anxiety disorder. A lot of good, decent therapists don't like to refer to diagnoses like that. They don't like to call it a disorder because it makes you sound like the person sound like there's something wrong with them, and there isn't. It's just that whatever is going on in your life at the time, that accumulated stress and everything else is probably built up and just caused a breakdown. You know, that's what it is. You know, you can end up having a breakdown. Many factors to life what can cause you to have breakdowns. Life events, stressful things, you know, they all just build up. It can happen to the best of us that don't discriminate. It can happen to, you know, it can happen to celebrities, which it has, you know. It's affected many of people, like Johnny Depp, people like that. I think The Rock went through depression once. You know, you got just many loads. Frank Bruno, he had problems with mental health. There's loads of people. Prince Harry, he's another one who suffered badly with anxiety. So there's many, and I'm sure there's more, which I probably don't even know about, who I liked, you know, as a kid growing up or whatever. So it's very real. And people who say that it's not, well, it's just people looking for an excuse to not work and all that, I hate that. You know, it's like, it's not. Some people would really just love to get out of their house and that's it, you know, and achieve them things, you know, what we all take for granted. So, you know, this is just people who are either arrogant or just purely ignorant, or just literally just don't understand it at all because they've never suffered with it, or they might do and they're just in denial. And there's a lot of stigma around these sort of things. So yeah, I'm actually now here, so I'll just like quickly run through. So I'm gonna start these now. These are gonna be like what the things I've been doing and that, and I can try hopefully share. So anyway, like, let's get into it. Like with the Claire Weekes kind of approach. So there's much out there now. It's become so people become more and more aware of this. You know, like with the Claire Weekes approach, it's all about face, accept, and then floating and letting time pass. So what she's trying to metaphorically say here, this is her methods, you know, this is like the main things what make her approach effective, you know, very effective with recovery and things like that. So what it's about is facing the thing you're frightened of. Simple as that. I know it's easier said than done as well, but we got to say, like, we all say that, oh, it's easier said than done, and then don't do something. I mean, like, that's another thing now I'm practicing. You know, I always catch myself sometimes say, oh yeah, but that's easier said than done. But instead of dismissing things like that and then looking for excuses, I'm now actually choosing. I'm going to start. No, I'm going to face this. I'm going to try and see if I can work around it. And so by face is like, so for example, you know, we'll look at a simple scenario. So you're agoraphobic, you're at home, and you're stuck at home. You know, you're in your thoughts, you're in your worries. You know, you're getting the symptoms, and these symptoms can be like heart palpitations. So your heart can race, you can start to sweat, your hands sweat, which I've had. You know, heart palpitations aren't very nice; they're quite scary. And then you got like, you can end up sort of breathing heavy, having panic attacks, which I've had as well. Sensations such as like tingling in your hands, you know, and you start shaking uncontrollably. I've even felt like I've had a stroke. Like, so your arm goes like really numb on your left hand and your arm and things like that. Getting like pins and needles in your bottom of your chin, which I've had. And all this sort of stuff comes about by severe stress. And so before I break down like facing, accepting, and floating, and letting time pass just quickly, this illness is an illness like which is kind of with anxiety disorders and things. It's something like which comes about by the way you think about things and how you think about things, and over time they build up and they cause these symptoms. And then what you get is you get a cycle. So you start getting like, you get fearful of like feeling like that. You don't want to feel like that again. You know, so when you've had your first ever panic attack, heart palpitations, or anything like that, whatever it was at the time, it's devastating, it's very frightening, scary, a bizarre experience. You never experienced it before, and then you think, God, what's wrong with me? What's happening? It'll get to the point where anything which will trigger that kind of sensation just remotely will just set you off easier as well. So your threshold for stress reduces. So you could just be in, like, you know, a slightly stressful situation where people shouldn't really be that stressed by it. For someone who's severely sensitised, they'll just be panicking no matter what, you know. So, and just saying, oh, calm down, oh, it's all in your head and all this, some people do, they don't quite understand that, like, that can kind of, like, set them off more and just annoy them. So, yeah, what I'd say is, just, like I said, basically it's all about the way you think and how you approach things to anxiety. So if you're scared of the anxiety and everything else, it just keeps the cycle going, because that's what happens. You get scared of the symptoms and everything else, your thoughts and everything start racing, you start panicking, you know, you hate feeling like it, you just want it to stop, you start fighting it. Don't fight it, you've got to accept it. So facing is basically, like I say, if you're agoraphobic, you want to go to a supermarket, you can't, you start getting the feelings come, sensations, heart palpitations maybe, breathlessness, you know, you start having panic attacks and that. So what you do, you face what you need to do. So instead of, like, going to a supermarket, you do something smaller. So, like, to get your confidence up. So maybe going with a friend, maybe to start with, a trusted friend, in a little corner shop or something like that first, building the confidence up. Go like that for a few times. Obviously you're going to get these feelings and everything else, but if you've got the right kind of support around you, maybe getting a friend, just getting you out the shop, and gradually trying to go on your own. This will be even a harder stage, but if you then start getting comfortable, which you will, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. The easier it'll start getting. So if you start doing it more and more, you'll get better at it. To the point eventually you can start then going to the supermarket. Maybe take a friend with you then, a couple of times, but then you have to try and do it on your own and just gradually facing it. So that's facing, like, just facing things, because that's what then brings these feelings at you. But this is the point of it. You need these feelings here, but instead of fighting them, this is where the acceptance now comes in. Instead of fighting them, you accept all the feelings and everything else. Let them be there, and this is going to be the most uncomfortable part, but you've got to really let them be there. But I'm running out of time anyway. But it's like a couple of little things you can take away from there, facing and accepting. And then obviously I'll get on to, like, floating and letting time pass in the next video. And I'll do a few more of these. I'll probably do another one tonight on the way back, part 2 of this. And then see what you all think. And then I'll just keep doing videos about this as well, whilst in between, obviously, my training and stuff. And yeah, anyway, hope you all have a good day. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. You know, if any of you have been, you know, been patient enough to watch this, thank you very much. And yeah, just let us know your thoughts, how you think about it all, and you know, if there's anything I can sort of help with, leave a comment, and I could see if I can just guide you. Like, you know, what's on your mind, what makes you anxious, you know, and things like that, and see if I can, like, help you a bit, you know, help you through it. But anyway, have a good day, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.